Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So, I was talking to this girl, right? Maybe like a year and a half, 2 years ago. And the topic of discussion was college and the military. So basically what we were talking about was telling her like, no, I don't want to go to college and I don't want to go to the military. I don't think it's right for me. I don't think there's any point for me to do it personally. Right? Other people, they have their reasons and I don't look down on those reasons. And she's like, well, why don't you want to go to college? And she went to college, right? And I was like, well, you went to college and we make the same amount. I make more than you, right? So what was the point of you going to college? I didn't go to college. I make more than you. You went to college, right? So I didn't see any point of going to college. Because especially in 2025, especially in the age of information, especially in the age where you can make money online, where you can do all these fantastic things without the need for a pointless university to listen to some guy talk about whatever in front of a blackboard all day or a whiteboard or whatever. I don't think there's a point. And the reason why we were talking about these things the reason why it was interesting me talking to her is because it shows you how easily manipulated people are in this world. People are so easily manipulated. When I was younger, it was hard to manipulate me, but it was possible, right? It's very, very hard to manipulate me at this point in my life, especially to do something negative. But it's very hard to manipulate me at this point in my life because I question everything, right? I didn't question as much when I was younger. That's why they almost got me to join the military. That's why I almost went into the Marine Corps, right? It's because I didn't really understand. And I was talking to her and I was like, yeah, we make the same and I don't want to go to college because there's so many other ways to make money. And she's like, well, it's not all about money. It's connections. You get to know people. You get to do things and they teach you things. And I was like, anything they could teach me in college, I can learn myself, right? Let's say I wanted to learn a language. I can just go on my phone and learn a language. Let's say I wanted to learn mathematics. I can just go to ChatGPT and learn mathematics. Let's say I wanted to learn English. I can just go on the internet and learn English. Anything they could teach me in college, I can learn myself. And this is what I was trying to tell her. But she was like, no, you need a degree. And I'm trying to understand why she thinks it's so important, right? And you want to know why? It's because people manipulated her to think it's important, right? They put it in her mind that, oh yeah, you have to go to college or you're not successful, which is very far from the truth. And also when it comes to the military stuff, the Marine stuff, I wanted to do that at one point. And I was trying to tell her, she was like, well, why don't you, if you're not going to go to college, go into the military. And I'm like, I'm not going into the military. And she's like, why? I'm like, because I don't want to die. I don't want to die, especially for America. I love America, but I don't want to die for America, right? Let me extrapolate. I'm not a coward, but I don't want to die to the point where I'm fighting a pointless war that some old guys were beefing with each other and now they're sending me out to do something to some Ukrainian kid or some Iraqi kid or some Palestine kid. I don't want to fight for a war like that. What do I want to do that for? And she was trying to tell me, well, if you go in, you don't have to go into a combative role. And I was trying to tell her, I was like, it doesn't matter what you go in for. If war starts, you're going to go to war. And that's what I was trying to tell her. Yes, we're in a quote unquote time of peace right now. But if stuff hits the fan and they need people on the front lines, they're going to put your ass on the front lines. That's what I was trying to tell her. And she just couldn't understand what I was trying to say. And I was trying to tell her, if you go in, you're the first to be drafted before anybody else. Yeah, maybe outside of the military, you can be drafted, but the people inside are going to be drafted first. And I'd rather have a fighting chance. So no, I don't want to join the military. No, I don't want to go to college. No, I don't want to do those things. To the people that go to the military, I praise them, right? I'm glad that we have people that are willing to put their life on the line to protect the country. if you want to call it that. But I'm not one of those people. I used to be, because I used to be easily manipulated. It used to be, I would see commercials of them with their guns and walking in lines and marching up. Oh, that's cool. I want to do that. I want to learn how to mess somebody up. I want to learn how to use guns, and I want to learn how to do this stuff. But I can do all that on my own. Anything I can do in the military, I can do on my own. Anything I can do in college, I can do on my own. So I don't want to do that stuff. And this is what I was trying to explain to her. But the deeper point of this video was, the reason why I made it is because people are very easily manipulated. They just, whatever they're told, they believe. And then once they believe it, they act on it and do exactly what the people who manipulated them wanted to do. And I'm very sentient at this point in my life where it's hard to manipulate me to do something that's out of the ordinary, that's negative. Like, to get me to do something, you're going to have to really convince me. Like, you really have to convince me to do stuff. Like, if I buy your product, I believed in that product. Like, if I buy your product, it's a good product. Like, if I tell you this is a good product, it's a good product. And she didn't really understand what I was trying to say. Or she didn't want to understand. She didn't want to accept it. I think that's what it is. And people are really strange like that, because when you know one person, you start to know a lot of people. Like, I meet people in my life sometimes where I go, wow, there are people like this out in the world. Like, I met this one guy, straight asshole. I never met an asshole like that before in my life. Asshole. Like, I mean, he was a contrarian to everything. He was a jerk. And what clicked in my mind was, if this guy exists, imagine how many other of this guy exists. Imagine how many people think like him. And that's my point, is imagine how many people think like her. Who think, oh, if I go to the military and I just become a medic, then I won't go on the front lines because everything's fine and everything's cool. It doesn't work like that. It does not work like that. You have to use your brain when you're going through these things. When you're doing these things, you have to use your brain. And if you go to the military and shit hits the fan, you're going to war. Period. I don't care what anybody tells me. I don't care what research you show me. That's what's going to happen. And you want to know why I know that's going to happen? Because that's what history has shown us was going to happen. History repeats itself. They might trick you, but at the end of the day, that's what's going to happen. And people are easily manipulated. And that's really what I wanted, the main idea, what I wanted to get by in this video today. So stay on your P's and Q's.